All right, good evening all. Welcome to the den, or the theater room. Here's you, Kev.
Thank you.
Audio check, 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 testing, testing.
Checking.
On a camera over here. Howdy, howdy. Hey, Nathan bought 5 copies. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate it, man. And we got a subscriber. I don't like that weird little icon that popped up, but Hot Dog Race Guy, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. I got to turn off the silly little animations. I'm going to clip myself up here somewhere, somehow. Clip it on my boob. Okay, here we go. So, the fun tonight, I had to go rescue Kevin. I don't know if any of you saw the live stream earlier today. He was riding down from the Austin area, and he made it about halfway, you think, Kev?
Mm-hmm.
Right at halfway point. And he was about 75 miles from here, and I hadn't even gotten in the shower yet. It was, 9 o'clock in the morning or something. And he said, I think my belt broke.
Yep, just going along, and it went.
Yeah, so yeah, you've got motivation, and then suddenly you don't. So the picture in the background was his shredded CVT. So Let's make sure sound is good. Excellent, thanks, Heather. Appreciate it. We could even have other people on here, bring in guests or something to split screen or whatever later if somebody wants to join in. So if you want to be an impromptu guest, send us an email at quasimotard@gmail.com or put a note in the chat, and we'll figure out how to get you in as a guest. So anyway, we're going to wrench a little bit on Kevin's ADV150 tonight. He's already opened up the CVT cover again. I'll move this camera over there in just a minute, get you closer to the action. We want to pull it apart again, and we're going to clean it out. We're inside because it's 104 outside in the shade right now. No thanks. But we're at least going to take these components, the rear torque assembly, the clutch, all that, and the CVT drive faces outside, clean them off with brake cleaner, and probably stink up my house a little bit with a rag full of brake cleaner and kind of wipe this housing out before we put everything back together. And then we're hoping to do a valve adjustment on it. We do not have a shop manual for the ADV150, so we're just going to go with the PCX 150 specs and cross-reference stuff online. Kev found a few things.
1024.
1024, yeah. So we're going to find other potential service items that we might be missing and just kind of mix and match. But there's really not any torque settings that are important for this job. It's just getting the valve cover off. So,
figuring out how to get in there.
Yeah, figuring out which plastics to remove. I know we have to pull the little side aprons here, and then the tub comes out.
We found a little service thing.
Yeah, he said that he found a video online of some people doing the valve check through the spark plug maintenance hole here on the side. You're going to have to be a magician to pull that off, but if it can be done, it's better than pulling plastics.
We're going to do it.
Let's see what we've got. Trying to look at Dr. Dredd. Yes, wife's okay with it. She was actually the one that suggested it when I was doing my prep for Cannonball. She was trying to figure out, a way for me to get all that stuff done and not die outside, basically, because it was almost as hot as it is now. But of course, we're protecting the floor in here. We got a tarp down. I don't want to stain the rug because I'm the one that has to clean these rugs with a pressure washer. So where are we? DR Hayden, yes. The belt died at 8,000 miles. Kev has put some pretty hard highway miles on this thing, and it's the hard. He keeps saying he's fat. It's the hard, steady highway miles where you're just punishing it at 60 plus miles an hour for hours on end. That's what shortens the belt life on these things. If you're cycling the belt up and down in the heat range, moving around town, it's not that big a deal. You can usually get 12 to 16,000 miles out of these. Honda recommends them to be changed, I think, at 16. The PCX is 16 anyway. I'm not sure about the ADV.
When you can't go in from the
I would
front,
never get
go in
that
from
far
the
on mine.
back. When you can't go in from the front, go in from the back.
There you go. That's what she said.
Well,
Okay, bump. Fran, does the scooter belt clutch setup work similar to the snowmobile? One gets smaller. Yes, that's exactly how it works, Fran. So you've got. We can get in there and show the workings of it later, but basically, the drive face up front on the outside is fixed. It's attached directly to the crankshaft output. Behind that, you've got a movable face, and inside that movable face is what's called the variator or variator cage. And in that, you've got weights. They're either rollers or sliders, and under centrifugal force, they get pulled out and they push on a fixed face on the back, and it causes the pulleys to squeeze on the front. The belt is a fixed length, so it can't get any longer. So it's going to rise up in the front and shrink down in the back. So that's how your pulley ratios oppose each other. So tuning them is all about the weight in the front versus the spring tension in the back, and you find happy mediums in there. Hey, he broke it.
I didn't.
It didn't break yet?
Nope.
Are you going lefty loosey?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You want me to hold the belt before you start the engine?
Nope, we got it.
You got it. You got to be careful with that impact gun putting them on, because that thing was able to break loose something at 280 pound-feet that I couldn't get off with any other tool. So I went and bought that big monkey, M81 or whatever that is, Milwaukee.
I've got a Cobalt that's about this size.
Okay. Chibe, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? I'm going to put you guys over here. You don't need to be looking at me. The bad guy. Hey, the bad guy, dude. I'm going to put you guys more over this way so you can see the goings on at Scooter Central here. You don't need to be looking at me. You can watch Kev at work here. Well, lighting isn't the greatest. I'll get another light in a bit. You want me to hold the wheel? Here, brake, rear brake. I get it. Got it. I'm going to get a light to shine on the subject in a moment. There we go. That ought to get you guys in the action. Okay, where are we? Mike, hey, Mike's here. How's it going, Mike? I'm going to go back through the comments. Heather is in here. She's doing my moderating and all the comment pop-ups. So thank you so much, Heather. We'll have to have you in here at least as a cameo in a bit. Robbie, hey, thanks, Robbie. Big thumbs up to Robbie.
Yes, Robbie, thank you.
Robbie bailed me out the first day, big time, or the first failure that I had on the Cannonball on morning of day 4, day 3.
Oh,
day
look.
3.
It's nice and clean now.
Yeah, it got rubbed free.
I got fingerprints on it now.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll get a rag with some brake cleaner in a little bit, and we'll stink the house up.
We can do it outside.
DR Hayden, hey. As Heather is putting those up, I'm going to scroll back through the history and see what I missed. Phil could not tune in from the UK. It's too late for him. That's all right. Grumman with Rob. Hey, Grumman. Or Rob. I'll just call you Rob. Yeah, that belt, wasn't that pretty? That picture was pretty good stuff, man.
This is a belt with 70 miles on it.
Yeah, that's a new belt. I'll show you one of mine from the Cannonball. I brought it inside for posterity. I brought my my variator that Robbie took home, and thank you for sending that stuff to me, Robbie. I'll show you my destroyed Dr. Pulley variator. That thing is just chunky.
Well, if you wanted to see the Dr. Pulleys,
Bob made it. Hello. Let's see what else is in there. Robbie, yes, you are correct. Kevin has an S23 variator paired with an NCY clutch. You do have that correct. And here is the...
I'll let you...
Yeah. Hold the dry boss. Actually, let me see the dry boss. I want to make sure you're not wallowed out here.
It doesn't seem like it.
Okay, so I'm going to try to get you on camera and look over here at the screen behind me. Yeah, the drive face. Hang on to that for a sec.
No, it says S23 right.
Oh, S23 right there on the face. Yeah, so sliders in here. We're noticing that his sliders are a bit beaten up. They've got a step in them that shouldn't be there. I've got another set of these that I'll just give him. I don't know if you guys can see that right here on this edge. They're supposed to be flat, and they've got a pronounced step or ridge right there that shouldn't be there. So I'm going to give him a fresh set of mine. What, you know what weight these are?
I think I bought 15s.
15s, okay. I've got a set of,
I'll look it up.
20 by 15, 13s and 14s, I think. So anyway.
Do you see my phone?
I don't see your phone. You were using your phone before you.
Yeah, it's probably
buried. No, you had it down here on the floor a minute ago. Oh, what you did. I'll find it. Anyway, so what I wanted to test on his real fast here is the bushing in the center that gave up on mine. I don't know if that shows on camera, but there's like a brass centered bronze, some kind of a bearing material in there.
And that's got about 4,000 miles on it.
And it does have a tiny bit of play that I can feel. Did it come with this boss, or is this the factory boss?
That's factory.
Factory boss. I can feel a tiny bit of side-to-side slack. Not a lot. It's there, but it's not like really out of spec. The factory variator has no lateral slack at all. In fact, you've actually got to kind of work the boss down on there, and it has a little oil lip or seal or something around it, and it moves this way under centrifugal force of the weights behind it. So that's all it does right there, but it should not chatter or wobble laterally. That's what my Dr. Pulley was doing. So anyway, I'll let him do this. I'll get back to comments in just a second. I'm going to go get my chunky variator.
And I'll be here ripping things apart. And I can't see anything on the screen, just so anybody knows that.
I think I left it in here. Did I take it out?
I'm looking for a Phillips head.
Oh, man. I got to get mine. I got to show that on camera.
Unsuccessfully, so I guess I'm going to have to go with the flat. If it works. No bathroom breaks for you. That one's a little beefier. Oh, the dog says, I'm done. Going upstairs. Phillips head, if you got it.
Yeah, Phillips should be in that bag, I think.
I didn't see one yet.
It's in one of those two zip bags. I brought it to the recovery site with us. I'll go get another one.
Oh, there's his, I think that's his belt.
Sorry?
Yeah, this is your belt.
Yeah, let's not mix up any parts now.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to mix this.
You don't want to put my butt to shit on your bike.
We'll leave that for him to show.
It is. Just to let you know how busy I've been, Robbie, I'm just now opening your box that you sent me weeks ago, a month ago.
We do apologize for the disorganization.
My busted Geiger rig bag that got run over by that jerk hole in a truck. I was so just dumbfounded that guy was such a jerk to immediately and intentionally aim for it and run it over. I'm like, really? What is your purpose in life other than being a douchebag? Would have been funny if I had bricks in it or something that would have destroyed the front of his truck. Karma's a bitch. Okay. So somewhere in here is a busted variator. I hear it going ka-clanka.
There is no Phillips in
There
it.
it is. Oh yeah, this is good stuff, man. Wait till you see this. I don't think I have a spare drive boss. I might in another box, just so I can show you the craziness. This is not supposed to look like that. See this lunar landscape and all that metal eaten away? Look at that, Kev. Yep. That is what happened to my drive face, and that's an OEM drive face. From the belt warbling and wobbling. I'll get to comments in a minute, everybody. I apologize. That was just absolutely eating the belts. How it got that bad, I don't know, but it should be smooth radius all the way up to the hub here, and it's not. So, yeah, bad news. And then the drive, the Dr. Pulley variator is absolutely cheesed. There is no center bushing, and it's got the same scarring all the way around that inner radius. I'm trying to get the light angle on it there. Oh, there we go. Same scarring. So that is just belt chew and potentially, I don't know. I mean, I guess it could have been little metal fragments from the bushing deteriorating, but that's a much softer metal. So anyway, I'm going to find a drive boss and get back to comments. Here's the whole clutch. There's a drive boss. That's the one that came out of it. So this was my original drive boss that was in this, and it's not supposed to do that, kids. It's not supposed to do that. That's how much slack is in that. I mean, if we look down this side of it, it probably won't show up well on camera, but there's like 2 millimeters of clearance there. So going down the highway at 70 miles an hour, it was doing this while it's spinning, and it was causing the belt to flutter, and the belt was actually flipping and then shredding itself. So yeah, that's not going to work. Game over. So Dr. Pulley, high-speed abuse, it does not sustain. Okay. Back to the fun. The blown torque drive is in there too, but I'm not going to pull that out. It's really messy. It's covered in grease. Okay, sorry. Comments. That's a single man's way of doing things. Yeah. I at least make sure that I clean up my mess. Let's put it that way. And for anybody that hasn't tuned into one of my live streams before, salud. Oh yeah, good stuff. We lost Kevin. I'm not sure where he went, but we try not to kick his parts around here. One of these days, if I can ever get the Quasi Garage kicked off and I decide to air condition that space, or at least part of the work area, it's a fairly large warehouse, a couple thousand square feet with 28-foot ceilings. So I'm not going to air condition the whole thing. It would be way too expensive. But I could do this stuff out there and not die of heat stroke. Here's one of the belts that died on Cannonball. This is the one, trying to remember, this was the one that died when Dean St. Louis stopped to help me. This got pinched in there, and that pinch right there, trying to get it on camera, good view. Anyway, that's what caused the rear tire to lock up. So yeah, it delaminated the teeth. It's toothless. It ate half of its teeth off, and it was not motivating the scoot anymore. That only had 2,500 miles on it. I put a fresh belt on that before I did the SpaceX trip, and that was 800 miles. And then I rode straight out to California. I didn't even. I made it to California, and I made it halfway through the first day. So it was right at 2,500 miles, and it killed itself. But that was because the variator was misbehaving. Okay, comments.
Aaron,
yeah,
can you hear me?
ADV150 belt went kaput. Heather's jumping in. Oh, I don't have audio to hear you, Heather. Let me tune up audio here. I apologize. Technical difficulties. I don't have speakers on this station, so it doesn't get feedback.
We got a grab bag.
Grab bag.
Yeah, reach in there.
I don't
All
want
the way to the bottom.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Oh, nice. Does anybody want some greens for their salad? That is CVT schmoo. These are the carbon, or not carbon fiber, Kevlar strands, threads, whatever you want to call them, out of the belt. That's what we pulled out of his variator. Tasty.
I was expecting to see a belt. There was just no belt. It was just gone.
Mute. I'm going to stop that one. I'm going to go in on the studio, and I will have audio this way. I will take the tablet out of the stream. There we go. All right, so I would be able to hear you now.
So everybody's asking to see better. They can't really get an idea as to what he's doing back there.
Excellent. Okay, good info there. I will. I'm gonna get rid of the feedback here. I'll get light in here, and we'll put the camera down low.
They just want to see my butt better.
It could be. You never know, Kevin.
This is a Quasi work video where Quasi's not working. Yeah, I really need a Phillips screwdriver for that. And that doesn't have any tools on it.
It's cooling off outside. It's down to 103 in the shade now. Shop lights to the rescue. All right, I'm set these up real quick, and we're gonna keep on wrenching. I will try to look back and answer comments momentitos.
And we're not ranching until we get a Phillips when you're done with that.
Oh, we still couldn't find Phillips?
Nope.
It should be in.
Nothing.
Did you look in that orange bag?
I did.
Really?
I'll look again.
Yeah, I lost it because it was there.
I keep forgetting to put this in the bag.
My, or it might be in the bottom of the red bag, the walking bag. But I know I put a Phillips in there when I left the house. Okay.
Nobody uses Phillips anymore. Do you have a Bluetooth earpiece that you could take your computer audio so when Heather talks to you?
I probably could. If I got it on my phone, I could use some AirPods or whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to make you all seasick. Close your eyes for a moment.
Oh, geez. Found it.
I knew it was in there.
It was orange. It was blended right in with the orange bag.
Okay, you're now shorter.
I'm just taking the bucket out.
We're going to make it even shorter. Get you right in on level with the action. How about that?
Hey, Kevin, how many
And
do you have on your bike?
What we get? Maybe.
Kevin.
Right, get some audio going for you again, Heather. I can't hear you yet. One moment, please.
Now the tricky part, how to get this thing out of here. I think the seat this is more disassembly than I imagined it would be.
At least it is climate controlled in here. I don't know where my phone is. Oh, where's my phone?
That's funny. His toolbox has two 11mm spots, but only one 10mm slot. You'd think that they would want to put a spare 10mm in there. And it's not even an 11.
I'm not sure if it's working or not, but.
All right. Any video I've seen that has the bucket out has the railings on here. But to me, it honestly looks like it's attached to the piece of plastic that the railing is on.
The thing just will not come out through the headphone. Anyway, if you have something to say, Heather, I can hear you now for another device that it's not working as anticipated. Too many changes to too many technical difficulties.
The only bad thing about me being in is it just makes y'all screen tiny.
Yeah.
There
There was supposed to be a way. I even asked the developers of Streamlabs if there was a way to have somebody in just with a voice without screen. And they said, yes, you can be an audio only participant, but I don't know how.
I've tried it. It doesn't work. I don't know why. I've tried it with Shadow Black with Keith. It didn't work.
My wife is
I'm
feeding me.
good. Thank you.
Kevin, how many miles do you have on your bike? They were asking.
How many miles are on your bike, Kev?
Just over 8,000, like 8,200. I'll tell you in a second.
Cool.
He's right there. You just need to stand near me.
Go.
Oh, 7,989.
989. He almost made 8,000 miles before the belt to give up.
Oil change time. 2,000 mile mark.
Through comments.
Ooh. There are spacers there.
Oh, Ed MD, this needs to pick up. Sorry, man. It's not always super exciting. I am thinking about doing a giveaway tonight. Whoops. So looking through the comments, I see Ride Scooter's not in a hurry. You got it right, Serenity Kitty. One of the scoots over from the 25 Cannonball Ride from the UK. So Lansing, where are you in the UK? You could always do a rental or something like that. Or just buy one and sell it before you leave. Let's kettle on. Let's try. I suppose I can switch over to a full screen layout so you guys can see what's going on. You don't need to see the comments. We know what the comments are. Let's do full screen.
Hey, it came right off.
I can look at the comments. All right.
Boy, I'm really thinking you got to get this plastic off of here.
Side plastics have to come off to get the tray out. Usually. That's how it is with the PCX. At the age when Australia went metric back in the 70s, yeah. The US tried it. It never took. We're still stuck between metric and imperial. It's half and half. It depends on what we're talking about. Usually with liquid measures, it's always imperial. But when we're talking measurements or working on precision stuff, it usually breaks down to millimeters and goes metric. Oil change? No, that's going to be outdoors. Yep, Robbie, you got it right. If you ride hard on the highway, 150cc blasting it, belt change at 6,000 or 7,000 miles is a good safety margin. And the belts aren't expensive. You know, they're $45. Big deal. Doesn't take too much to change them. Okay, so Lanzy's got an NMAX 125, which we do not get here. We get the XMAX 155. It's different. And Honda Monkey, nice. Vista Cruiser, nice. Nice. Staffordshire. I can't say those names right. Good luck asking me to pronounce Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Worcestershire sister, what? Cool, thanks. Yeah, I had that other view up there. I meant to transition to full screen, but we were looking at too many comments. Let's see. Dan, yeah, twice in a day. Yeah. Well, I was just anticipating on doing the one tonight only, but when Kevin had his unintentional belt mishap,
Missed it by that much.
UK and Europe 125, and then it jumps to 340. Right, exactly. And we want that ADV350 so bad here in the States, but nobody wants to bring it. I don't know why. Honda is very reluctant to bring small displacement bikes and scooters to the US because they've sold so poor historically. Also get the XMAX 125. Yeah, we don't get that. We get that 155. Kevin needs help. He's working. He's going.
I'm working.
He's sitting over there on the sofa, just out of frame, working on specs and teardown instructions. I mistakenly thought that he had a shop manual, but he doesn't.
No, they're very hard to get.
Yeah. They're not available. We get them through not Haynes. What's the name?
Helms.
Helm. Yeah, Helm Inc. Princeton, and they do not distribute PDF versions of them anymore. So once they run out of them, you got to wait for reprints to come back, and then you can order. Hey, Daniel, good to see you, man. I'm gonna move this further over here, get it more in line with the action, and the lighting to boot. There we go. Got a whole makeshift studio here. NMAX, like the PCX 125. Yeah, and I think a lot of that, most of Europe is set up with the graduated licensing. We don't have that here in the States. You get your driver's license and you can ride anything from a 50cc scooter to a Hayabusa. It doesn't matter. I don't think that's necessarily a good idea, but whatever. And the X-Max, yeah. We have the X-Max here.
But not the X-Max Tech.
No, we don't get the X-Max Tech. Hey, Travis Black, he's the monkey expert. Nice, yes. Somebody else mentioned that, Travis. That plaid tartan. I didn't realize that was a factory option. That's pretty cool. DR Hayden is asking, are there any upgrades on the Scoot, or is it stock? It's all stock except for the variator. So there are no engine upgrades or exhaust or anything like that. It's just the driveline. So Kevin put an S23 is the brand of variator on there with Dr. Pulley sliders and an NCY clutch and spring, the whole rear torque drive assembly. So that's the only thing that's different in it. And that may have contributed to the short belt life. Personally, I think it was probably the first variator that he had in there from UNI. It grenaded. The roller that came with it just
Disintegrated
everywhere. Yeah. He sent me pictures of that. I don't know if I can find them to put on here or not, but the CVT drive faces up front got pitted and scored to hell. So I'm sure that wasn't real friendly on the belt. Right. Honda has a 300 engine through USA regs. They can bring over the 350. Yes, that's true. And the same rough scenario happened. Pardon me while I chew cake. The same scenario happened with the NC 700 and the NC 750. We were stuck with the NC 700 forever in a year. And I want to say it was 6 years plus that the European markets, the UK, most of Europe, had the 750. And we're like, okay, well, why don't you just bring it over here? And then finally they did. But unfortunately, we haven't seen any of the new scoots. The Forza 300 never came here. The Integra never came here. None of that stuff. They just don't want to take a chance on the U.S. market. Really get it, but apparently they've got smarter number crunchers than me, so whatever. 125 Zuma, nice. New one or old one? What year? Scooter Cannonball. Oh man, yeah. On a Cub across the UK. There have been a couple of people over there that have done trips up to. I'm going to butcher the name. What is it? Something of Groats, Lando Groats, Martin Groats, whatever it is. The real famous ride all the way up and back. And toured all of Europe on 125s and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. But you got to think Texas is so big. We cover a great portion of Europe just right here in the footprint of Texas. It's insane. So when we go cross country, it's a whole different kind of adventure.
Check your phone.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed the shirts. Did they fit you and Travis? Hope all the swag worked out. Spotlight on screen guests. Detail segment on the shoot all underneath the music segment. Yeah, man. There's some music in there. Probably get annoying.
Copyright strikes.
NC 750 DCT versus the Rebel 1100. That's a good question. Ooh. The pictures of the variator. Hang on a second.
And it very well could have been Texas Tiddlers that helped on that.
In a bunch of,
But that was 6 months after that, too.
Hey, quick rotating. Damn you.
Yeah, that's clean now. Oof.
Can you see in the picture all that hitting and scoring? That's the drive face from the Yamanashi when the rollers hand grenaded. It absolutely destroyed that drive face. Bizarre. So where were we? NC 750 versus the Rebel 1100. Okay. First, they're going to be totally different ride positions. The NC is an upright, kind of sort of ADV bike, but it's not really ADV. You would not want to take the thing off road, trust me. It's heavy and it's got a 17-inch front wheel with fast wheels. Bad idea. All the way around. Gravel lanes, grass lanes, yeah, sure. Fire roads, you should get away with it. Careful. But the sump on that thing is not protected, so it's not an ADV bike. It's a road bike. The Rebel is much more laid back seating position. It's a bit more cramped. Definitely doesn't have as good suspension ride flow. So if you wanted,
I can second that.
Cruiser or commuter or long distance tour or something like that, the NC 750 is actually going to be the better bike, hands down. The Rebel's fun, but it's a bobber. It's not really.
If you're 6 foot tall, don't do it.
Well, Kevin couldn't get his legs up on the pegs on mine.
Both sides at the same time, I couldn't.
One side at a time. Just go a few miles and then rest your legs. 2023 X Max and Vulcan 900, 9th and 10th. Nice. Congrats. Man, I lost track on how many bikes I've had. I was keeping a careful count for a long time and I gave up. Australia dumped the Super Cub Monkey and CT. Yeah, wasn't it because of the brakes, John? I remember some scandal about they need front and rear ABS now or something like that. The big law case with dealers reporting warranty claims if you didn't service them at the dealers. Oh yeah, see, we've got rules here that you can't do that. Yeah. I can't remember. There was an automotive case here in the United States several decades ago. I think it was back in the 80s, 70s or 80s, when Ford and some of the other manufacturers were trying to avoid warranties if you had service anywhere except for the dealer, and they got their asses handed to them in federal court, and not only that, just in public opinion, they got smacked down pretty good about it, saying that the right to repair and right to independent service is guaranteed because you own the vehicle, you can service it wherever you want. So we have case law that prevents the dealer or the manufacturer from being asked. Would you like something disposable? There's blue towels over there. You don't have to fill a mic.
Oh no, that's fine. I buy bags of them for like $10.
I noticed no rear disc.
Yeah, this is gonna need wet cleaning.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
I got a couple things to break later. We'll dispose it. No, these scoots, the only markets that get rear disc brakes for these smaller scoots are generally the Thai market, and there's a couple of the Asian markets that get. And if we were showing you the other side of the scoot, the rear hanger on the other side is already set up to accept the disc brake, but we don't get the disc anywhere here in the U.S. or North America.
For a lot of money, you can convert it.
For a lot of money, you could convert it. Shirts fit, cool. Good news, Kia. I got another one. I can do a giveaway tonight for everybody that was saying this was too slow and boring. It's not my normal format. I'm usually just talking to the camera and there's nothing else going on. So I figured this would be less boring than listening to me yammer. But with our Cannonball, and this is the limited edition print style. I don't know if that's even showing up on camera because I'm not looking at the camera. So that's the only one that's left out of the stack that I bought at the finish line of Cannonball, and this is an XL. I can look at the camera now. It should show up. Whoa. XL. So that's the only one left.
If you see my camera over there, I would like to take a picture or something so you can see it.
Your phone? Where would your phone be?
It's either on the toolbox or it's on the couch.
What did you call me?
Thank you.
Yeah, Travis, that would be good. Actually, I can't remember what I put on there. I think I put my warehouse address. So if you wanted to send there, yeah, you could. Otherwise, send me an email. You've got my email. I'll give you my home address. Chibe, hey, thanks for tuning in, man. Sorry if we missed you already.
So here you go.
We're just goofing tonight.
This is pitting that I've just seen inside the casing.
Yeah, that was from
way before.
The Variator shrapnel. So that's a close-up. You just took that picture. That's the bottom of the interior drive housing at the front edge, and that scoring that's right
in here
by this finger. That's from the CVT rollers that exploded a long time ago. Did some scarring and scoring inside the case.
It doesn't contact
Not
anything.
critical, yeah. It's not going to contact the belt, or it shouldn't anyway, unless you've got extreme belt slide.
So I'm just ready for wet.
Todd says the only screw from Honda is the Navi. Interesting. So Honda doesn't bring the PCX or the ADV up there to Canada? That kind of sucks. It sucks. Cornwall, rear disc brake is on the other side. Yeah, it would be, but this is drum. There's no disc on the back. Front disc, yes. Rear disc, no.
And there is no sharing of the brake.
There's no link brake on this?
No.
Oh, that's cool. So no link brake, no CBS on this. Silly to call the 750 an adventure. Yeah, I agree. Kind of the same as saying that the CD 500X is an adventure bike. No, it's not. It's too heavy for that, for its weight, and it's got cast wheels. If it's an adventure bike, it needs to have, preferably a wet weight of less than 400 pounds, and it needs spoked rims. Otherwise, you're going to crack those rims when you go over stuff. And you've got to have at least 6 or 7 inches of ground clearance, which the 500X does not have. It's got 5.5 inches and no sump guard. So, yeah, good luck. One rock over and you lose your oil. Man.
Anybody have the disassembly guide for the panels on this thing?
Oh, yeah. Does anybody have an ADV150 and a shop manual? If so, try it. Or the Ruckus. Oh, yeah, you're right. The Ruckus, too. I always forget. And the Metropolitan. XADV sells very well, yes. In fact, that was one of the highest, best-selling scooters, or motorcycles overall in Europe for several years, from what I understand. I wish we could get the XADV here, but that's based on the NC750X. Butched up scooter frame. I wish we could get it here. I'd get one in a heartbeat. But if it ever made it here, it would probably be about $14,000.
I'd still buy it.
Yeah, that's fine. Quasi Saturday, no worries on 6 foot. Yeah, I'm 5'6.5", 5'7" on the good. Oops. Right.
My worst problem with these trim pieces is the tight tolerance that they
Well, I
have.
have some trim removal.
Well, no, even then you're gonna snap tabs.
Yeah, breaking tabs is.
I mean, it looks like just this piece needs to come off.
Yeah, and it comes apart at the front edge, from what I understand. You have to pull the seat off, and there are a couple of screws. Pries loose here. Oh, careful, man. There's going to be screws holding that in. If you haven't pulled the screws, don't do it.
I already got the screws out right here.
Hey, Brent, just got home from riding. Did you miss anything? Not a lot. Kevin got the CVT apart on this thing, and we're cleaning it out again. We didn't do a clean out on the road. We just slapped a new belt in it and came down here to Katy. Hour and change away, 75 miles. We're going to clean it out and put the belt back in. Yeah. We decided not to work outside, Lansing, because when we got here, it was 106 in the shade. When we brought it indoors just before the live stream, it was still 104 outside in the shade. Fair. Crazy. Ridiculous. He asked a question.
There is a screw down here.
Uh-huh. He is asking, is it all stock parts that blew out? He's got aftermarket variator and rear truck drives. He had a previous variator in here from Yamanashi, and it hand grenaded, and I think that's probably what compromised the belt, or at least shortened its life. It had 8,000 miles on that shrapnel.
You know what?
Zoom in on the same brake setup. The link brakes are okay as long as you got ABS on the front wheel. If you don't have ABS, combined braking's bad. I've harped on that many times over many years, and I've got it on my 2004 Honda Silverwing 600, and I've been on wet pavement a few times. Had to make a quick stop because someone pulled out in front of me or whatever, and I would get into the rear brake only and intentionally, and the front wheel Rear disc on which one? On the Silver Wing, it's front and rear disc. On this, on the ADV, it's rear drum. Kind of hard to hear me. Okay, I can move my microphone up better than that.
Me making all this noise in the background.
Well,
Blame it on me.
it's about not having ABS due to the price. Ouch. Yeah, that is pretty high on the Super Cab, John. That's crazy. I'm gonna check my
Really?
on this thing and
Gotta be kidding me. Test one, two.
I don't know if we're still on. Are we all on? Are you on?
I don't know.
I think we're on. Test 1, 2, 3.
Yes, you're still on.
I'm gonna turn your audio up again, Heather.
I was just letting you know you're still on.
I need to get some monitors on this.
Really?
Okay. I can hear you now if you jump in, Heather.
Yeah, I was just saying you're still on.
Okay. So, Brent saying they had a terrible storm in Tennessee. Yikes. Were you out? What do you enjoy, Daniel? I hope everything in general. Humidity? Oh, man, it's crazy. Let me tell you what humidity is. I'll pull it up. It's still 102 outside right now in the shade, and it's 7:20 in the evening. Let me roll this up, and I'll tell you, humidity is 62% right now. So pretty steep. Oh wow, Heather sent me a picture of that. You could throw that in there, Heather. Yeah, that's a storm front. It looks like you're above.
I don't think I have it on this computer, but yeah, I took it right before it hit. It was pretty nasty. I'm sure it was probably worse when they got it. It usually diminishes by the time it gets to the east side of the state.
Looks like you're above it, man. That's crazy. Let me put it over here.
Yeah, that storm wall was. Let me get out of here so you can see it.
Wow. Yeah, it looks like you're above it, not in line with it. So are you up at higher elevation?
I am. Well, I'm in a valley, but I'm on the side of a mountain. That doesn't make any sense, but yeah. But the storms usually ease up quite a bit by the time they get here. Brent's in Middle Tennessee. I think he's in Chattanooga. And Mike's in Knoxville. So by the time it gets here, it's usually either really vamped up or really diminished.
Mm-hmm. All right. I missed the previous one. Something about 400. Oh, first floor apartment kept the 400 in the kitchen. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. A lot of people. Birch also puts his indoors. He doesn't have parking in his condo for him. If USA loses their currencies, yeah, well, we'll see. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of American riders or cagers are ready yet for small transportation. It's a paradigm shift in thinking that has to happen to get people into smaller bikes.
It's
only the enthusiasts.
It's a weekend hobby.
Yeah, it's hot. All bikes have to have ABS since 2015. Lanzi, is that front and rear ABS or just front? Because I think USA is pushing for that as well, but I don't know that they've got the spec for saying front and back or whatever. Bama fan, hey, 8,000 miles, just under, like 7,900. Looking at the comments, yeah, you got that right. You guys are not feeling the confidence on Dr. Pulley parts. No, and I used to really tout Dr. Pulley, but not anymore. Not after the cannonball. It absolutely failed. I will demonstrate again. If you didn't see the previous demonstration, I'm going to do it. Here is the part that failed and ate multiple belts on my scoot on the cannonball just a month ago. This is the Dr. Pulley variator. Look at the lunar landing surface here on the face of it. That should be smooth all the way up. I don't know what caused that. The drive face looks the same. Crater. But this was what caused it all right here. That center bush is just gone. Not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be very tight and only slide in and out, but not that much slack. So the whole thing was just going like that, going down the road. And it was allowing the belts to twist and die. So those things do not hold up for long endurance running at high speed. I mean, that one had at least 8,000 miles on it, but it was running fine until the cannonball killed it. Yes, no, PCX or ADV. I'm not sure. Hello. PCX or ADV. I would say the ADV160 would be the one to get right. Hey, engineer girl, howdy. She's a new member. Thanks for joining me. Todd from the Great White North. Hey, what's up, big? What's that stupid show from the 80s? Stupid, the guys, the hockey player guys. It's a funny spoof. Anyways, Riker all ready for sale and listed. Man, Corey, I was trying to do that today, but with the roadside rescue, I ran out of time. I did call Wild West and have them pull up my VIN number. They've done all the service. I bought it from them. I said, pull this up. Tell me what you would offer me for it. And they gave me some real low ball estimate of $6,000. I was like, really? You guys have done all the service. It just had the major 12,000 mile service done. New tires, new everything. And I'm only going to get 6. They said, yeah, maybe 6,500. Book value on it's like 8,900 right now. So I'm going to try to sell it private party. Now, with that said, Eliminator 450 that I sat on the other day, new Kawasaki. If they had that sitting on the floor today, I told them I would trade him straight across. And he went out and checked, and he said the sales guy had just sold that. I almost came home with an
Found more bolts.
belt issues. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think it's the belts that are doing it as much as the variators. The performance variators tend to have a little bit of different slack or tolerance within them, and it's causing problems with eating belts. You know, the variator portion is allowed to wobble a little bit too much on the drive boss. Gives belt flutter that adds heat stress to the belt that shouldn't be there. So we'll find out if Kevin has another short-term belt issue on his with the S23 variator and the CCY final drive in it.
Hey, Aaron, Kevin's mic, his
Within the next 2 years.
mic is overbearing your voice.
Say that again.
Kevin, digging in that box with the mic on is overbearing your voice. We can't hear you hardly.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, you can turn my mic off for a minute.
Or you can just mute it. Or
I didn't.
Put it up higher on your shoulder or something. Or you can just set it down over there on the whatever.
Well, that's going to be right in there, so we'll just do that.
Okay. Cool. he de-mic'd himself.
Thank you.
Okay, back shot. Kinda. Good luck with that definition. If you search around online, those show a piggyback reservoir shocks right there. Apparently, from this point back, right here in this, the arm supporting that gas reservoir, there's nothing there. This is supposedly just decoration. We don't know for sure, but I've seen pictures of people saying that they cut this off and there's no passage through there. So they're just shocks.
Let's call what's inside, guys.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody put it on a bandsaw, oh, the box is loose.
The box is loose, except I have to remove my wires because they go through the hole. Maybe they don't.
Fix this. And C-125 in Tosford. Scooter that's manual. Well, technically, the Super Cub is classified as an underbone motorcycle. It's not a scooter. Everyone equates it as being a scooter in their head, but it's not. Honda has always said that that's an underbone motorcycle, and it's a sitting automatic shift. So it's kind of a happy mix between a scooter and a motorcycle because you don't need to use a clutch or anything like that. So. Hey, oh, thanks for the 20 spot.
Thank you, engineer Girl.
And Daniel's a new member. Thanks for joining, man. Check something. So yeah, for any of you that don't know, Engineered Girl is Candy that ran the Cannibal. And she did it on a 23 Cub, the black one, 22. Made it all the way through. And you never dropped it, did you? I think you got through unscathed. I almost made it through.
All right, it's gonna be fun.
Almost breaks to the end
there again, but
Semi-automatic. Okay. No clutch. Gotta shift it. Aha. Don't get your fingers in there.
there's stuff in the bucket.
I will set it down here gently.
We have access.
Yep.
And I didn't have to take all the trim
Need
off.
that.
Sorry.
All right. No reverb. It was my phone causing it. For some reason, my phone will not put the audio out on
Let's
the
give them a
headset.
view.
Okay, we can do that. I need a flash a light on.
I got one right there on the phone.
No, I got a better.
Sorry, disorganization.
This one looks like
Still sweating.
yeah, well, 76 in here. Here, actually, this. Some airflow in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll get some more airflow in here. Okay, hopefully we've got enough cable length to get you in the action. There, with me.
So I ain't moving it.
Can you move it over here closer to the camera? Just pick it up, tilt it. Oh, running out of room. So I can't get you any closer than that. Ah, so close, yet so far away. Yeah, I don't think we can get you over there.
Here, wait, I got an idea. I got an idea.
The camera is running out of cord.
Ready?
Oh yeah, here. We'll tip the bike over. There you go. Seeing right down in the belly of the beast. So what we have to do is get there to pull the valve cover off. We got to get the hoses out of the way. and just get a feeler gauge in underneath the little tappets. That's it. I recorded this process on my PCX before I left for Cannonball, but I have not had a chance to edit that video yet.
Just took a little thought process to get it apart.
Yeah. All right, Charlie, good day.
I'm gonna start
Andy
taking.
Milson, hey, good day.
I'm gonna start taking before pictures.
Yes, that's a good idea. Exactly how it was before you molest it. I always do that. I'll record multiple steps along the way of how I'm taking things apart because I may not get back to it for several days or however long, and then I've got to go back on my pictures and go, yeah, where did this go? Linda, howdy, Linda. I'll be riding probably a ADV150 for the Cannonball, unless they change the rules and allow the X-Max 300 in there, which is 292 cc's or 291, something like that. It's over the limit right now of 279.
Both can be riding 350s. Come on.
Well, that's only if they allow it.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, me too. If the ADV 350 comes to the USA, then I'm sure we can petition to have that displacement limit raised to 330.
I'll still be riding it if they don't.
We'll run as tourists. But barring that, it will be the ADV 160. I might go crazy and decide to kit the Navi with a fuel cell and take the Navi across the country, but I need to know what the path is going to be before I commit to that because there are a lot of long highways that the Navi just would not do well. 51, 52 miles an hour. It's just not safe. There's too many safety risks there with fast traffic going 85, 90 miles an hour. It's just not a good idea.
You need like a wide load vehicle in the front and back, but slow moving.
Exactly. Have blockers. I mean, I wouldn't need to refuel either. I could just, have them dangle. Have them dangle those floating siphons.
Like a jet.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a tanker in the front, just throws a line out.
Exactly. All right. Let's go down the list here. Benny, oh yeah, Benny Aust is the one that won it. He made a video on his run from 10th all the way up to 1st. Pretty good video. He had a support vehicle that was following him the whole way, and he was able to run pretty fast and light. He didn't ride all the way to the Cannonball and from the Cannonball, and there's probably some smart choices there because you're not as exhausted as riding the whole thing and moto camping it like I do and several other people did. But yeah, kudos to him, man. He ran the whole thing and won it, first place on a S-Max 155. Lindsay, I live in Texas. This is Katy, Texas, just on the west side of the Houston metropolitan area. Looking for anything else I missed. Place first this year. Yeah. Yep, you got it. NC 110. Yeah. That's interesting. NCS 110, John. So that was a postie bike, right? It was essentially it was a Trail 110, right? $34 likes. Yeah, I know. That always happens. But thanks, Robbie, for poking everybody, making them remember. What do we got? Quasi is Cannonball. And I see that. Hey, Isaac Tucker, how's it going, man? Nathan, hey, what did Wild West find out? They still don't know yet. I talked to them on the way home when I was asking them what they would offer me on the Riker. And they gave me a level on that, so that was a good news. On the Rebel front, it still will not go into gear. So I took it in there because of an idle hang, and I told them what it was doing, and they said they couldn't reproduce that right away when they test rode it, which I don't understand. It's pretty obvious what it's doing. They tried the DCT reset procedure and some other ECU reset procedure. One or both of those left the DCT unable to go into gear. It just won't go into gear now. So it's dead state right now. The engine starts, you can rev it up, you can do whatever, but it stays in neutral and refuses to go into gear. So we don't know. They have reached out to Honda. Honda called them back, gave them some direction on it, some things to try, and some tests to check out. But they think it's one of the sensors or the something servo motor. I don't know. He said it over the phone, and it made sense when he said it, but I didn't commit it to memory. So anyway, there's something that's gone wonky in there and doesn't want to reset or re-talk to the ECU. So we're just in a holding pattern. That's why I was very tempted to almost just get a new bike today. If they had that Eliminator 450 on the showroom, I was going to get it, but they didn't have it. They sold it. Damn. Strange Brew. Yes, that was the one, Robbie. I was trying to remember. I just remember that stupid tune they would sing. It was hilarious. 6,000 is a trade-in. Yeah, DR. They were only going to give me $6,000 on the Riker. I don't think so. I mean, granted, my Riker's been a problem child, but you know the dealer can remedy that with $150 steering update kit and a little bit of their labor, and they can make more money on it. But I'll just sell it private party. Rode around the kitchen. Nice, nice. Yeah, I don't. We've got too much furniture in the way in my house to do that. I'm sure I would run into something.
Where were those blue rags?
Right there. Return.
Oh, geez. I was looking
It's a whole roll, man. I tossed them over there for you. Tech job get you cool. What tech job are you getting? I don't know if I'm an inspiration or a corruption, so be careful there. Be careful. It's contagious. Yes, the Honda Cub is still the world's all-time best-selling vehicle. It has sold more than any other production motor vehicle in history. There are over 122 or 125 million units now, something like that. And just a handful of years ago, it was 110 million. So they're selling just tons of them even now.
I'm going to block the camera for a second.
Okay. Whoop. Tail of the dragon when the storm hit. Oh, yeah. Not a good place to be. Those roads get a little slick. Went through there in the rain once. Road King sitting in the garage since the RTL arrived. Red ADV has been perking interest. Yeah. Well, this Red ADV, this is the one right here. This is Kevin's. Was the one that I did the comparison against the PCX on a couple of years ago. I picked this up for him down in the Galveston area and brought it back to my house, and then he came down the following day to pick it up. What do you need?
I paid $4,000 with 13 miles on it, and didn't have to pay a lot of the extra fees. I did pay some, but not a lot.
So somebody bought it, decided they didn't like it, brought it back, traded it in on something else, and took a bath. And Kevin got a sweet deal. Black Cub. Yeah. Well, there were a couple of them, Robbie. Candy had one, and then one of the other guys had a bunch of GV stuff on his. He had that GV tunnel bag and all that. And he managed to make it through the cannonball, I think, unscathed too. Was that out of the garage, or did you bring one?
No, it's out of the garage. So
Okay.
chlorinated?
Yeah. I've got several cans of it.
Just clean it.
Yep, no worries. Electric scooter will take over the market in 10 years. Well,
Nope.
Maybe. The problem is battery density. That's the real issue.
I completely disagree with that because they're not going to take over as in-city transportation.
Yeah. Well, it depends on which cities, because some of them are banning combustion vehicles these days. So, Netherlands is kind of leading the charge on that. They're banning any motorized vehicles in busy city centers, and it's bikes or electric vehicles only to get in
Do you have
to a certain radius.
a plastic tray
Mhm.
that I can just put these in while I'm washing?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I shall be right back.
That would be more beneficial. Right there. One of them has still hard to say. And this one here has a surface that looks narrower, but it just could be dirt. Find out. Well, I don't think you can hear me.
Are all of them scuffed, Kevin? I'm curious, or just some of them?
Better. But once we get them clean, we'll find out.
Don't worry about all the schmoo in the bottom here. It's just
Gonna get cleaned. It's just to contain the liquid.
there you go.
Oh, that's bigger than I thought it would be. Okay.
That's what she said.
Yes, I'm doing this without gloves. I know.
You can't make one and not make extras.
You don't know what these hands have had on them. I don't need gloves.
Do you want my rollers or sliders?
Well, I'm gonna let you look at them, and then you decide when I get to look
Okay.
at them.
We can remind you, by the way.
I'll just throw it on the bike.
Is it still flashing? Yep, it's good.
Now you can hear me. Thank you.
Okay, back to comments. I apologize. I've been reticent in my duties here. Okay, here we are. So she said you never dropped it. Nice.
Congrats.
We got it home. Oh no, he didn't knock it over. What did anything break? Or just get scratched up, or what happened? NCS 110. Yeah, that was the one I was looking at earlier. That John said it was. I think that was the Trail 110 essentially. Torrential rain. Right here. Yeah, at least the Riker, you don't have to worry about low siding or high siding or whatever. You could skid it off the road, or power through a corner and understeer and push off the road. But the Riker is pretty stable. It's got very good rider aids in it. That's one thing that I've always liked about it.
Sometimes a little too much.
Yeah, a little too intrusive sometimes for my tastes. And
But-
that's why I got the Rally, because I thought, the Rally, you're going to be able to turn it off and go roosting around, turn
Nope,
off the rear traction.
still there.
No. It doesn't change anything. There's
Three
really no
wheels.
difference
They don't want you to
between-
flip it.
There's no difference between sport and rally. None. Dealing with
Maybe it
traction
lets you
control on
spin the
left and
tire.
right.
Maybe it lets you spin the tire for like a second more.
Yeah.
All right.
Record steering issue. Yeah, that's part of it, Heather. It's the steering angle sensor, or SAS, and also
The yaw sensor.
The yaw sensor is bad in these things. They never really wanted to acknowledge it, but all of the 19s had the problem, and
They have
Good
soft
portion of
metal
the
in the
20s.
knuckle.
yeah, a good portion of the 20s also had the problem. But they won't issue a recall and pay for it out of their pocket. They don't care. Can't handle that. Horrible customer service. Horrible. Yeah, I'd replace these, Kev. They're very stepped on the edges. All of them are the same too. It's got to be something about that drive face that's doing it to them. Or not
Well,
drive face.
the numbers are on them,
the
so-
pressure face. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this on camera. I'm going to try to get it close. If it focuses right
Take it.
here, that right there, there's a lip right there at that edge that should not be there.
Well, I got those NCYs.
It's supposed to be smooth across that face, and it's not supposed to have this very pronounced step or ridge right there. Shouldn't be there.
I got those NCYs.
I
don't know what weight they are.
They're rollers.
Yeah.
If you want the sliders, I've got a couple sets. And then dig up what I got.
Let's see what weight they are.
You know what's
These are 15 grand. No,
We're talking about the drugs over here. We're talking grams. Man, I got 14 grams. You want 14 grams?
20 by 15. What are those?
I don't know if these are the 21s or the 20s, but I know for sure I got 20s out the garage.
Well, yeah, these are 20 by 15 on the.
Yeah, they all say 2015. They just don't tell you the weight. That's the dimensions.
Oh, I can look that up on my phone. I'm sorry. I was going to look it up.
These are 2115s. So let me go get the 2015s out of the garage.
Because my purchase order should have the weight on it.
Yep. I don't want to mix yours and mine, so I'm going to put these away.
I don't think that's possible.
Well, you wouldn't notice it really unless you looked at the side. Daniel says, found a Trail 125 and an ADV160. Which one would be the newest member of the fleet? I would go the ADV160 personally. I own the Trail 125, and while it's a fun bike, the truth of it is it's pretty limited for on-road and limited for off-road. So it's almost the worst of both worlds. I'm not saying it's not fun. I enjoy it, but I know a lot of people that bought them actually got rid of them because they just couldn't ride them on the road to go where they wanted to go. The trailheads and they had fun with them. And then when they did, they got out to their and in the house one. Basically.
Apparently, silence is very golden. I'll make some noise until they get back. They just kind of randomly walked away. Oh, geez. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm still learning about these bikes. I soak up every bit of information Aaron throws out. So, Yeah, squirrel. Exactly. So everybody throw up what you're driving or what you're riding. Let me say it that way. And we'll just compare what everybody's riding for a second. I know there's a lot of ADVs in here from what I'm seeing. I've got the Riker, the very dysfunctional one right now. No, Lansy, I've never done the cannonball. I don't know that they let me do that on my Riker. Brian Carter's got a 21 ADV150, Mike Rivera Honda 100, Brent 1100 Rebel, Daniel the 21 Honda African Twin DCT, Dan Keller ADV 150, Live Right is a 21 PCX 160, Nathan is a Rebel 1100, ooh, and a 19 Cub. The way he talks about the Cubs, I think I'd like a Cub. Robbie Can has a 24 ADV 160. It's his newest. See, I told you there's a lot of ADVs in here. Serenity Kitty BMW. Ooh, there we go. Something different. C400X. Okay, Serenity. So I'm really stupid about two-wheel bikes. Is that one of the adventure bikes? Kia Millie has a 21 Trail and a 23 ADV 150. John has a 2020 Super Cub. Bobder Dasher has a 21 Zuma. Okay, there's another different one. Lansy KTM 690 Honda Monkey. Okay, I want to know what this Honda Monkey is all about. It sounds cool. Yamaha NMAX 125, Honda NC 759, and a Yamaha WR 125. So Lansy is a cluster like Quasi. Dean has a 21 ADV 150. Linda said, I rode the Yamaha S-Max on the last two cannonballs, have a Yamaha Majesty too. How did you like it, Linda? Did it serve your purpose, or did you find that you needed to make some adjustments on it?
15 grand.
Jan
The pulley sliders I had are 15.
15s, okay. I'm looking for my PCX 150 box. I'm looking out in the garage everywhere for it, sweating my balls off, and it's right here.
We wondered where you were.
Too many projects, too little space.
So Yanni has a 20 PCX 150.
So who's sponsoring your workshop?
No sponsors, I wish. Okay, what do we got?
Okay, so Serenia
That
is
is not what I need. That is random parts from quick dismissal as I left in a hurry. I think that's
Lansy is the UK version of Quasi. That's an understatement.
there.
Okay, I'm gonna back out, y'all. They're back.
So. That time, right?
Okay, so I'm gonna find the different sizes and weights that I have for you, sir. I hope that I've got multiples for you to choose from.
Well, stock is like 19 on this thing.
Well, yeah. Generally, I think kind of the best rule of thumb. Man, I feel like an idiot now. I could have been in here done with this, not all sweaty. They were waiting for me in here the whole time. Everybody says somewhere between the 12 to 14 is the best weight, depending on how heavy you are. So,
well, 14, I think, is a little clear. I did 12s, and they were really aggressive. I've been happy with the 15. It may take forever to get to top speed, but whatever. I'm not there to do that.
So 21 15th. Well, maybe I don't have the 20s. I got 21 15s. Oh, sorry, looking at comments. Don't want to start rumors. Been said Pacific Northwest Texas. PNW could be Alaska. Would I do Cannonball 2 from Alaska? Yeah. The problem is how is the immigration going to be going through Canada? We don't know.
Okay, you need passport.
You got to do passport, and with the way it's become Canuckistan up there with Commandant Trudeau, we're not sure how things are going to work out for non-Canucks getting in and out of that country. And I'm not getting a jab. I refuse to. I will not get test drugs put into my system just so I can pass somebody's little line in the sand. Okay, so I have rollers here that are the factory weight. I don't know. I guess I do have to go digging for those other
It's all right. I can put the
sliders.
rollers in.
I thought I had those sliders, man. The ones I have here are 2115s. I don't know where my 20 by 15s are that came out of it, because I had 12 and 13 in 20 by 15. And these are 21s. Anywho, Kevin, have you ever ridden the Cannonball?
No.
And are you planning on doing it in the future?
Depends on where it is.
Well, what Mike, LM15, and I have been discussing, along with a few other riders, is a north-south route, kind of south central to northwest. So
Then yes.
the perspective path is somewhere very South Texas, maybe Boca Chica, SpaceX, all the way up to Washington, up right at the Canadian border. So I don't know. That's a potential path. It's going to, I guess, go to a vote, and really Dave Bednarski, the organizer of the event, it's really up to him. So we'll find out. So here's your slotted sliders, or you can put rollers in there.
I got the brand new rollers.
I don't know if I'd trust this, man. I'd put the rollers in it for now, at least for the ride home.
Yeah.
Because that's not a normal profile. Let me see if I can illustrate that on camera. I'll show everybody what a healthy slider should look like. Okay, everybody. This is a healthy slider. I'm going to look on the camera. You see how that face is smooth? This is the top edge that rides toward the hub, and this right here is what pushes against this underneath it. I'm losing my little plastic pieces. This pushes against that. So under centrifugal force, this is pulled out, and this part is against the engine. So as these ride up, they make that movable face, which is what everybody refers to as the variator, pushes this direction, which pinches the belt against the fixed one on the outside. Anyway, long story short, this angled face right here is what rides on that surface. That should be smooth, and it should not look like that. Okay, I'm trying to get the light is not cooperating with us here. Hold on one moment. Need one of those overhead cameras. There you can see that step. See that step in that thing? It's not supposed to be there. It's got a very pronounced step in it. Anywho, yeah, it's not really helping. The glare on the light is not working with us. Anyway, it's got a very pronounced notch or step right there. It shouldn't be there. And that may have actually contributed to his belt demise. So I would say don't put those back in. Good. All right, who's next? He would survive the cold of Alaska. Oh, I'd love the cold. I'd love the cold. I'm an Eskimo. I hate the heat.
I'm from New York, so
I'm Dutch, German, Irish. All of my lineage is cold climate people. Living down here in the south of Texas is a daily challenge for me. Let me tell you, I'm not built for this.
I've had 50
I don't have
years
enough melanin.
40 years of snow. I'm happy with
Yeah, there you go. Alejandro, hey, how's it going, buddy?
Don't forget your plastics.
Which ones? Oh, yeah. You don't want to mix those up with yours.
I think they're the exact same.
They probably are. Wish your wife would allow your hobbies in the living room. Yeah. Well, this is a very rare occasion. I only do this when I want to wrench on something, or if I'm doing a live stream or whatever, and I just cannot tolerate the heat outside. And today is one of those days. It's I checked again as I walked out there. It's getting dark outside. It's 8:03 p.m. and it's still 98 degrees in the shade out there. Yikes. MotoCat, hey, what's up? Handlebar mirrors, cool. Which bike? I don't remember which one we may have conversed on through chat or comments on YouTube. Posty bike, 2 CT90s, nice. Yeah, I had a CT90 with without the dual range transmission, and then I had a CT110 that did have the dual range transmission. I love both of those bikes. I really like the 110 with the dual range. It was great. That's why the new CT125, when it came out and they omitted that, I was really annoyed because, without that, it takes away so much of the crawling and climbing ability of that bike. We should probably just take that outside. It's going to get stinky in here.
I'll do that.
And don't spray the brake cleaner down your bearing bore.
Yeah.
Because you'll eat up too much of your grease. Just outside next to the truck, the driveway's already all stained up with rusty antifreeze spoo. Okay. So, speaks the truth. Yes, I'm not a good financial influence. I'm sorry. I do apologize in advance for any corruption of your financial status. Real world speed differences between the ADV150 and 160. I can't speak to that personally because I've not ridden the 160, but I've had quite a few people on YouTube reply to that, difference between them, and they say that yes, it's a significant difference. Not so much in top speed, but how quickly you can get there. The new engine is just snappier, more powerful, and I think there's probably a 5 or 6 mile an hour top end difference. This one tops out around 63, 64 on the rev limiter factory without a performance variator in it. And I want to say the 160 has been rumored to top out around 71 or something like that. So it's got a few miles an hour on the top end. Batteries, Yamaha work together, pulling location. Yes, Lanzy. Honda has been threatening that, talking about it. They had a partnership with Panasonic, Yamaha, Honda, and I think even Sony was in the mix for a while, but it was like almost 15 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. And they were talking about modular battery packs, and they've been threatening it now publicly, for 10 years, saying, oh, it's coming out next year. Oh, it's coming out next year. Oh, it's coming out next year. Hasn't happened yet. And the markets where it has been released have been very limited in certain parts of Asia, Japan, stuff like that. So I don't know. If it happens, I'm all for it. And that would really be the only way that you could get around the distribution model and the recharge problems, because no one, especially in American society, has time to sit around for 30 minutes, 45 minutes waiting to refill. And that's once you actually get connected to a charging station. The lines ahead of you, if you just look at California, for example, people are waiting hours and hours to recharge. What the hell is that? That sucks. Robbie, yeah, I've actually had several people come leave unhappy comments on my channel saying, this sucks. I came here looking for the anime series. Sorry, I live in the real world. I feel bad for you living in, la la anime land where there's nothing real to ride. Constant highway speed, yeah, very likely. And that kind of happens on these things right there. That's at the full extension. That's the uppermost extension on the there's the shadow is getting it just right. That step should not exist in there. So it's the edge of the ramp that's caused that, sitting at high RPM, just cocked right there at that spot for long periods under high load. So yeah. 350 is keyless. Been a lot of problems leaving people stranded. Yeah. Hey, that's not uncommon even with the Super Cub. That's happened to me here a handful of times. I don't know if Kevin has ever had that problem with the ADV here. It's got the smart key. But my first long road trip on the Super Cub, I was planning to go to a family reunion in Kansas, which is, 850, 900 miles away from here. And I left middle of the night, way behind schedule. I think I left at about 11 at night, 11:30, something like that. And I got about 2.5 hours outside of home, stopped to get gas, and the stupid bike would not turn back on. It locked me out. I couldn't even unlock the column. And I sat there in the dark, in the middle of nowhere at a gas station, screaming and cursing at that bike for about an hour before I finally figured out how to do a forced reset on the key fob. and then it worked for like the next day or two, and then it started doing it again. So I have no idea. It did it to me on the Cannonball in 21, a couple of days early in the game, but then the problem seemed to disappear. So yeah, the smart keys are not so smart. I'd much rather have a traditional key. S-Max, yeah. The S-Max has been the one to beat for the last two Cannonballs. I knew that going in to the 21 Cannonball, and I actually considered getting an S-Max. But something about the ergonomics on that thing, I just don't like. I've ridden Neil's S-Max. I've ridden two or three others. I actually borrowed one for a day from somebody down here in the Houston area and played around with it just to see if I could make it work. But I would have to change too many things on the ergonomics of that to be comfortable for me, at least to use as a daily or a normal driver. I could have suffered through the Cannonball. I'll ride a leaf blower across the country. I don't care. But the ergonomics on the S-Max are a little pinched. They're just very uncomfortable to me. 49, 250 miles. Sure. Yeah, Chip. I've done 250-mile days on my little Yamaha C3. It's not too hard. You just have to pick the right roads. I mean, you're definitely picking your battles with a small bike like that. You've got to worry about traffic speed, not what the road speed limits are. And if you're getting anywhere that traffic is moving more than about 55 miles an hour average, you're going to be stuck at, roughly 42, 43 miles an hour on a 50cc scoot. And that means traffic is going to be climbing up your ass all the time. So Peugeot XP400. Yeah, we don't get those here. We don't get any Peugeot scoots in the US. Moto Muscle Check. Hey, we're still on. This is the second live stream of the day, but not continued from earlier today. It's a separate one. Kevin is outside cleaning the torque drive assembly. Trying to look for my finger in the camera. The whole rear drive section. He sprayed off some of the other pieces in here, but I said, no, take that outside. That's going to get real stinky. We wanted to give it a proper cleaning, better than we did today, just swapping the belt into it. So he's at least got some reasonable assurance of making it home. 14 grams on the PCX. Yeah, I think I had 13s or 14s in mine. I put the 13s in there with the Dr. Pulley variator, 13 gram sliders. And that's what I had all the way out to California. And then, up to the second day when it pretty much dirt napped. And that's when you brought me your new parts. So thanks, Robbie. That was great. And it would have continued, I think, had the torque drive in the back not been faulty on my bike. Spanner in the drive box. What I ought to do is just leave a couple of extra bolts over here just to fuck with him. Pardon my French. It's always fun working in the shop. You do that. You'll put something that just absolutely does not match what they're working on, something that's just non sequitur, and they go to putting everything back, and then they got these two or three things sitting there, and they're like, where did this come from? Dick! 400 miles round trip on a 50cc. Cool. Where did you take it? That's a good question. Live Right. Did you do, was it mainly just little back roads, or where'd you do it? I did 350-mile round trip on my Navi, but that's a 110, and it goes a little bit faster, 52, 53 miles an hour is top end on it. So I could pick my battles and kind of stay out of harm's way, but traffic moves so fast down here in Texas, it's very hard to find roads that are slow enough that you can get longer distances on a 50cc scoot at only 40 miles an hour. Joker, hey, we're working on Kevin's ADV150. It shredded a belt today on the way down here. We were already planning on doing a belt swap and the valve maintenance today during the live stream, but his belt didn't make it, or he didn't make it all the way on that belt. It killed itself on the way here. He was halfway between Austin and Houston. So I had to go rescue him on the roadside. We swapped the belt, put him back on the road, and now he's finishing the job. We're just going to keep wrenching on this tonight. He's staying overnight, and he'll take out of here sometime in the morning and head back to Austin. Open truth. So, are you asking about Cannonball? I'm presuming the next one we're thinking is going to be north-south route or south-north, whatever. It's under discussion right now, but there have been the ideas floated of starting it at SpaceX and going all the way north up to Washington. But that's just spitballing. We don't know yet. We'll find out. Joker, got your ADV160. Cool. Similar to this one, just newer. 4-valve motor. I like the ergonomics on the 160 a little bit better than I do this one. It feels narrower right at the crotch, the front of the seat to get the legs down feels better. And I was eager to see that new display because I don't like the display on this one. The gauge face is just far too busy. Fonts are too small. It's just it sucks. Quasi Cannonball. Hey, that's a great question, Brian. I've had people ask that. I don't even know where I would start on the organizing front on how to tackle an undertaking like that. I can do it for myself anytime I want. I'm no stranger to just getting a wild hair and taking off and going across the country. But to organize it and have a bunch of other people dependent upon me for the planning and the routing and all that is a much bigger challenge. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. If anybody's interested in doing some kind of a rally, whether it's a cross country or a multi-state loop or something like that, let me know, and we'll try to organize it. It certainly won't be in the heat of the summer. We'll try to do it either in spring or fall when it's less brutal, and also avoid the rainy season if we can. But it depends on what states we go through because you never know what you're going to get. Special person, yeah, special, like short bus special. You got to be some kind of stupid to sign up for that torture. It was fun. It's an experience, that's for sure. You get there's multiple phases of that. It's almost like the different phases of depression and denial and all that. First when you're planning to go on it, you're like, oh wow, this is exciting. It's crazy. I'm going to do this. I can't believe it. And the butterflies leading up to it. And then when you're actually getting out to start on it, you're like, yeah, I've got to be incredibly insane. This is just nuts. And then you finally get on it, the first day or two of a big journey like that. And you're like, wow, I'm doing it. This is awesome. This is awesome. You get 4 or 5 days into it, crushing 500 plus miles a day. And you realize this sucks. What am I doing? I've got to be certifiably insane. There's no normal human that would sign up for this kind of torture. And you got to keep doing it because you said you were going to do it. And you're all the way across the country. So there's no point in quitting and coming back because it's still going to be the same distance. So you might as well see it through. It's like going to the dentist to have a root canal done. It's got to be done. Riker, hey, Beth, how's it going? Riker Rides, Beth. Just got an ADV150. Cool. What year, what color? How many miles? Have to go back and watch both lives. Oh yeah. The live stream this afternoon was 2.5 hours or something. Just me driving out to help Kevin on the side of the road. This one is going a little longer than I thought on this portion of it, but my live streams are always 4 or 5 hours. It seems like. Start doing Can-Am mods. Cool. Yeah. If you can get it inside your house, the Can-Am is a little wide to get through a door. This one we pulled right through my front door over there. I don't know if you can see that. That's the front door. Just ride it right through the door. They have to kind of angle the handlebars a tiny bit so the bar ends and the mirrors don't drag the door frame, but it comes right indoors. Shovel or walk in it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I grew up in Oklahoma where we didn't get snow as much as we got ice. There's always ice storms or tornadoes there. Girlfriend remarked she might love bikes more than I loved her. Yeah, that's a tough one to answer. If it comes down to it's the bikes or me, it's one of those time to eat a Snickers bar. Shove your mouth full of something and don't say anything. Yamaha scooter. Which one? Are we talking about the Zuma, the X-Max? What? 15 mile per hour difference, but big torque difference. Yeah, yeah, and that's what I've heard is it's somewhere around. A lot of people are saying 10 mile an hour top end, but there's a lot more torque. It's snappier. It's a 4-valve motor and higher compression, so it's going to have more punch for sure. But the downside of that is it's thirstier on fuel than the previous 2-valve motors. So you got to go faster, burn more gas. Cub 50, dumb idea putting an engine on a mini bike frame. Nice. Yeah, I never had a Cub growing up, but I had friends in the neighborhood that had the C70 Passports, which was our version of the Cub that we had in the United States after whatever it was, early 70s or something like that. Great fun to ride. Not very fast, but they would go anywhere. No one going to wait 20 miles to charge. Yeah, that's the deal. It's really about the battery density and the charging. And I've almost pulled the trigger a couple times on getting zero electric motorcycles. There are a couple of those. I've test ridden them. I had one for a day and flogged the hell out of it, and it's great fun. But you've got to wait hours to recharge that thing off of a normal outlet, 8 to 10 hours to get a full charge. If you've got a faster level 2 charger, DC charger, it takes 40 minutes, 50 minutes or something. If you get a quick charge, it still takes 20 to 25 minutes. Well, if you can use a traditional gasoline bike, an ICE bike, then you're sitting at a pump for how long does it take? 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops, and you're back on the road. So in a busy city lifestyle where everyone's in a hurry to get somewhere and they don't have that much spare time on their hands, how are you going to manage the charging infrastructure and the charging times to get that done? It takes a huge paradigm shift in thinking and also in the service side of it, because no one is going to stand around in the heat, especially on an electric motorcycle, baking under the sun, waiting to get a spot at that charging station. That shit ain't going to happen. It's just not going to work. So the only way you could do that is to have almost like the old bookstore routines where you go inside and you sit and eat coffee while you read a book, or eat and drink and do all that while you're reading a book or whatever. Something's got to go on in the background, indoors, air conditioned, whatever, to get you out of the elements while you're either waiting to charge or charging. It's just not going to work on a motorcycle. Oh, you got knocked off. You left the truck. All right. Staying on the volume down. Made it to dinner. Cool. Well, eat your dinner. You can always watch this later. We appreciate you being in. ADV160, S-Max, pretty close. S-Max, 72, 73. Yeah. And that's with stock variators. Either one of those bikes, if you put an aftermarket variator in it, and you're not worried about this happening right here, you can easily get a few more miles an hour out of it. My PCX with the Dr. Pulley stuff in it, while it was behaving itself, I could routinely get 72, 73 miles an hour while getting over 85 miles to the gallon at wide open throttle. It was pretty good. Yeah, Todd was talking about the X-Max. I love that thing. I'd love to have one. I've thought about getting one a few times, but I'm still holding my breath for Honda to bring the ADV350 here. If the Cannonball rules are amended to allow the X-Max, then I'll probably ride an X-Max in the next Cannonball. I'm not really looking forward to taking that heavy of a scoot on gravel, but I'll do whatever it takes. Yeah, the ergos do suck on it. I don't like the ergos on that S-Max. I can't do it. Something about it just doesn't work for me. And Neil had to make extensive modifications to his because he's tall. He's 6'2", and he's got long legs. So he had to change his seat. He recovered his seat and raised it up over 3 inches, I think almost 4 inches worth of padding. He put floorboard risers on it at the front, all custom made metal work, highway pegs, all kinds of stuff. He fabricates everything, but he had to really adapt that thing to be able to fit on it. More suitable for taller person, PCX shorter. Yeah, the X-Max isn't too bad, actually. Even for me being short, it's very wide in the seat, so it's a little hard for me to get down because of the leg bow. Whoops. But
order a new clutch.
Nice and shiny. Look at that. in front of the camera. Oh, it's clean again. I got one of those in the box right over there. An NCY.
No, you don't. No.
I got an NCY sitting over there.
I'm good.
The one that came off of Adrian's, well, now Adrian's scoot. Anyway, yeah, the X-Max is a little wide in the seat, and it's kind of hard for me to get down on both sides, but I can get down on one side pretty good. It's got like a 32-inch seat or something like that on it, but it's pretty fat. PCX is smaller and lighter. X-Max, yeah. X-Max is about 30 kilograms heavier than the PCX. I think you meant to say heavier. It is heavier, but it's a much bigger scoot. You know, it's 290 cc. It's a different animal, different performance class. Thoughts on the Royal Enfield 350s? Man, I would love to have one. I like the Hunter 350. I'm not real keen on the Classic. It's a little bit too retro looking for me, but the Hunter is very interesting. And I also like the Scram 411. I've been thinking about getting that Scram. If our timing had worked out right today, I was going to go over there to a dealer that's just on the edge of Katy. They're about 7 or 8 miles from me, and they've got a lot of Royal Enfield stuff, and I was going to go looking at that and take everybody on a live stream over there, but timing didn't work. So maybe next weekend, we'll see.
So feel free to buy him one.
Yeah, you can buy me one. I'll do a demo on it, let you know what I think.
Just
I need the duck tonight.
Back,
yeah, I've had a few duck moments in here, haven't I? As the night goes on, it gets less PC. Of course, I'm not a PC kind of person. Decent guy helping him out, bringing his bike to the house. Yeah, man. Well, we had planned on doing this today anyway. We just didn't know whether it was going to be indoors, outdoors, and we didn't anticipate the belt fail in the middle of the day, but that's all right.
Good thing we got one.
Yeah. I picked up the belt for him when I was dropping off my Rebel a few days ago.
Wasn't any available in Austin.
Yep. Yeah, and so many people helped me on the Cannonball. I got to pay it forward, man. Robbie on here, Robbie Can, helped me out. Huge savior of the day on day 3 of the Cannonball. Dino Spumoni, Dean.
Yeah, we're going to Robbie's house next week to do something on your bike.
Exactly. We're going to take my busted PCX to Phoenix and show up at Robbie's house. Hey, man, let's fix this in your living room. Dino Spumoni sent me his OEM full CVT components, the front end, the back end, everything. Overnighted it to me. I don't even know how much that cost. It was probably $100 at least to send that stuff overnight to the hotel. But he came through, and with his help, I was able to finish the Cannonball on days 6, 7, and 8. It's awesome. 400-mile Natchez Trace. Oh yeah, that's awesome. But did you ride to and from the trace, or was it just on the trace, like trailer it there? Because I would love to do that on my C3 or something like that. That'd be great fun. Even the Navi would be great out there on the trace. I've taken both of my Honda 125s up and down the trace. I rode my Super Cub up the trace, headed up to Maryland for Maine, for the 21 Cannonball. And then I rode back and forth from here to Georgia or Alabama, wherever it is, to the Barber Motorsport Museum on my Trail 125. And I agree, the Natchez Trace is just perfect for small displacement bikes. It's absolutely great. You still have oblivious cagers that go ripping through there at 80 miles an hour, but there are enough constables that enforce the rules out there that keep most of the people honest. So it's good. Trip on back roads, Tampa to Daytona. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. How many miles would it be? Best aftermarket seat? Ooh, good ruck. Good ruck, Daniel. There are a bunch. I don't really know who's making them for the AT. I haven't shopped any parts for that to know for sure, so I couldn't say with any authority. I would check the bike. Yeah, the bike is already really tall. You could check Sargent and Seat Concepts. Those are the two that I've had really good luck with. Corbin is a love or hate relationship, and I'm in the love to hate them category. I've had a couple of Corbins in the past on other bikes that worked out well, but I bought a really expensive one, almost $600 for my CB500X, and it was an absolute turd. It was crap. Through and through, it was crap. The fit and finish of it was horrible. The seat pan was bent and not shaped correctly to where I couldn't even get the seat to latch unless I literally physically got up on the seat and bounced up and down on it with my knees, and then I could get the thing to latch in the back. And then good luck ever getting it undone. And it was too wide. It didn't fit right. It was pinching the back of my legs. It moved me way too far down away from the handlebars. It just sucked. So I used it for 2 months and put it in a plastic bag, and it's still sitting out there in my garage. So yeah, good luck on finding a seat. I would check Sargent Seat Concepts, and beyond that, go to a good upholstery shop and have them work over your seat and put some memory foam in it.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Yep.
That's what I did on the Riker. Wasn't cheap, but it did.
So do lighter rollers give you higher top speed? No, not necessarily.
Higher acceleration.
Lighter rollers don't make the front portion of the variator expand as fast, so you get a lower gear or pulley ratio for better acceleration off the line. If you go too light on your rollers or sliders, then it hurts your top speed and your fuel economy because you're never really getting to full extension on the belt at the front end. So your effective ratio is not good for higher speeds. Stock rollers are always very heavy. Yeah, so 17 to 19 gram is pretty common. If you put sliders in there, sliders are always lighter by several grams. So my PCX, for example, the factory weights in it, I believe, are 18 gram, 17 or 18, and the best compromise that everyone has figured out for the sliders is 12 or 13 grams. So they're much lighter. But it's the difference in the profile of the sliders versus rollers and how they affect the performance.
Your weight also has to factor into that.
Yeah, rider weight also factors into it. That's right.
And of course, I'm fat.
Making the ADV Florida 1000. Oh my God, $1,000 markup? That's insane. I mean, it depends on if that's just right off the top or if that's with all the fees. It depends on how your state works. But if you ever are interested in buying motorcycles or scooters at MSRP and not paying any extra markups, period, go to Southern Power Sports in Tennessee. Honda of the Ozarks in Missouri is also very good. There's 2 or 3 that I've used over the years, and you just call them on the phone. If they've got what you want in stock, you give them a credit card as a deposit to hold it, and you go pick it up, and they'll write you for exactly MSRP and no extra fees. I think
there's one that will deliver the bike.
Yeah, there's one that I went to that I paid a $12 documentation fee, and that was it. So yeah. And then you just title it in your state. You don't pay taxes or title or anything when you pick it up from them because you're not keeping it in that state. So get a hitch carrier, drive, take a road trip, bring it back.
So you wanted to go over the crash bar.
Oh yeah, Joker saying I'll help you do a rally. Hell yeah, man. Let's get a jump over onto my Discord server. The links are in my YouTube page and at the header of most of my videos. I'll put that Discord invite link on there. It's free. It's just a chat server where we can all coordinate and do stuff like that. And I've got a group rides and meetups channel in there where people can discuss, finding other people to ride with in their area or whatever. And that's a perfect place for us to kick it around, and we'll exchange email addresses and figure out how to organize it. I'm game. It could be a small bore ride. It could be a, middle class, or it could be a fat ass cruiser ride. I don't care. Quasi meet. That's right. That's what we'll call it. Quasi meet. I made a vlog that I haven't posted yet. I haven't had any more time to edit. I went ahead and started 2 more channels. I don't have any subscribers on them yet because I have 0 content. I haven't loaded anything to them yet. One that I started a while back is Quasi Garage. I'll start uploading some of this stuff over there soon, and it's going to be more live wrenching and tweaking videos on bikes. And then the new one that I've threatened for a while is the Quasi Raw channel. And what I'm going to put over there is just raw feeds, stuff that comes right off the camera, unedited, unbleeped, definitely not fit for at-work consumption or minors or children. Not family friendly, let's put it that way. not that I'm overly profane or foul, but life is life. Yeah, life is life, and everybody has those moments. And I'm just going to upload the stuff over there, and whether it's monetized or not, I don't care.
I had to bring in the.
Oh, I've got more of those.
Oh, I know. I found them.
He's raiding my my stash out in the garage. He found all my
well hidden.
Oh yeah, he found all my good stuff. I've got a whole box of those.
I know.
They're expensive when you buy them by the box. Jesus, I couldn't believe how much they were.
Well,
like $32 for a box of those things.
Let's just say you had a whole.
Yeah. There's like half.
Anyway,
Anyway,
am I going to hide them?
Bob, out west, they're 1,500 markup. Yeah, well, and that's kind of what the dealers were doing with the Navis and any of the little bikes just a couple years ago. There were some dealers in Dallas that were wanting almost $5,000 out the door for a Navi, like $4,800. Are you insane? The MSRP is $1,807, and they're adding $2,000 plus worth of markup before you even get to the state taxes, which are going to cost you $300 or $400. That's just,
all they need is one buyer.
That's insane.
Somebody didn't know the actual price.
I agree, Dominic. Multi-state rally sounds more manageable than a cannonball. Moto camping instead of hotels, maybe moto bag. Yeah, that's a good idea. And generally how this, the cannonball, for example, everybody stays in the hotels. The official hotel is the starting and ending point for each day. So the rally point is always the hotel, and it's just convenient for people to stay in that hotel because you're tired after riding all those miles. However, it is not the cheapest way to do it, not by a long shot, because a lot of those hotels, they charge peak rates. They don't give any discounts, and you're looking $250 plus a night for a room in those things. So it's insane, and that's why I moto camp. We'll find somewhere close by. Sometimes I'll stealth camp in their parking lot if they aren't looking. But yeah, it's fun. It's an adventure, and if we can arrange something like that to have hotels maybe 10, 15 miles away at most from where everybody else wants to rally up or camp for the night, then that allows the people to that aren't camping friendly, they want their amenities, or they can't sleep in the heat, or one thing or another, they could still participate and not be too uncomfortable. So we'll see.
Can somebody Amazon Prime you a bike lift?
Yeah, same night delivery.
1 hour delivery.
1 hour delivery. Deliver a bike lift, please. I need to get one eventually.
It would be so much better.
Mama Mac, hey, Heather's on here too.
I'm not going to get
finished planning and booking Florida to Utah. Florida to Utah. Woohoo! Not on the scoot. Oh, come on, Weenie. What you going to take? You going to take a road sofa? What are you going to do? Big bike? I need to do another big bike trip. But the only big bike trips I've done cross country in the last couple of years have been the Life of Birch meetup rides on the Rebel. I'm going to take another different big bike. I've been thinking about some real torture, taking my my Hyper Naked, my Ducati Monster 1100, doing a coast to coast on that, just to see if I could torture through it. I don't know.
Excelsior Henderson Super X.
If
it makes it 200 miles. Wonderful bike, though.
Yeah. Take some snow, too damn hot. Where are you, Brian? Oh, you're Florida. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. We're right there with you. This is Gulf Coast, so we know your pain.
Outside, the locusts are not shutting up.
Flatulence, nice handle, nice. What bike in my stable would I take on an Iron Butt 1K? Which one in my stable haven't I done an Iron Butt 1K on it? Is a better question. I do that all the time. If I were to just jump on one and do it right now without blinking an eye, it would be one of the little 500s, either the 500F or the 500X. I've done it multiple times, no big deal. I've done multiple iron butts on the Rebel already. I almost did an iron butt on the PCX 150 on the way home from the Cannonball. Had I not wrecked it on the last day and bunged up my leg really good, I would have I would have iron butted all the way back. It would have been 1,100 miles in 19 hours, so could have done it. I want to see if I could do it on the PCX or even crazier on the Super Cub. But that would be a logistical challenge because you got to stay on major highways without too many in-town stops to pull it off.
Takes some planning.
Crazy enough to do it on the C3. Hell yeah, man. If I could figure out how to rig up a couple of Ryobi leaf blowers on the back of that thing to give me a turbo boost, maybe help me up some of the hills, I'd do it. I'd do it. I don't remember. I think it was Dave Bednarski, the organizer of the Cannonball. When I floated the idea of taking the Navi on the Cannonball, everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're insane! Let's see it. We want to see it happen." And Dave came back. Somebody was saying, "No, it wouldn't qualify because this and this and that." And said, "Look, it's a scooter. It's a little motorcycle, or it's a scooter that thinks it's a motorcycle because it's a CVT back end." And Dave said, "Yeah, he would permit it." And he said, "If you want to ride a leaf blower across the country, we'll welcome you with open arms." Hell yeah, man! Leaf blower and skateboard. Dirt bike riding, yeah. The little Cubs are great. They're just about unkillable. We had the Trail 90s and the Trail 110s, and we tried multiple times to kill those intentionally, running them off of cliffs, sinking them in sandbogs, you name it. And we'd pull them out, drain out the crankcases, get the sand and the crap out of them, start them right up, and keep riding them. They're just unkillable. Heather, you got to bow out? Okay, no worries. Can-Am Quad. Cool. Can-Am Quad. Can-Am Quad. A Can-Am Quad. You just piqued my interest. What is a Can-Am Quad?
It's a 4-seat.
I don't know anything about it.
Vehicle.
A UTV?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, if you gotta bounce, Heather, I appreciate it. I'll manage comments. Thank you so much for your help. Heather has been the hidden star of the show tonight. She's putting up all the comments. I've just been looking at what's on the screen.
NCY rollers, please.
I don't have them.
They're in the package over to your right.
To my right. Ah. He's putting in brand new NCY rollers to match his NCY clutch. There you go.
Except they're going in an S23